Thank y'all for tuning into this Wizard podcast. I am El Jefe,
And I am Shelly Baby.
and it's a new year.
Yes, it is.
2023, we
Yeah.
made it to see another year. This is
Yeah.
we've been on now 1 year now.
Hmm.
And yeah, last year, not 2022, but 2021, we started in November.
Right.
And we still here.
I'm
We
still
took a little
here.
break, and we took some breaks, but we're here. We're still here. We didn't go anywhere, y'all.
Right.
Just had to do some things, real life situations. So hope everybody's out there. Hope you guys are doing good, and God's been good to everybody, and you have all your loved ones around, and you're close to your loved ones. Matter of fact, this year, hug your loved ones closer than you did last year, and the year before, and the year before that, because as we always say, we're on borrowed time. We don't never know when anybody is going to leave this planet that we call Earth. So you want to make sure that you do support your friends, your family, and whatever they're doing, and show a lot of love. Love your days happy, stress-free. Prepare for mental health checks throughout your days, because you need that self-check. You need that self-reflection. Make sure that you're good. If nobody checks on you, you check on you, because you come first at all costs. Make sure that you're in a good situation, good environment, good mental. Make sure that you're not, if you're going through something, find somebody to talk to about what you're going through.
Right.
Because we have a lot of things going on in this world that, people are secretly going through.
Right.
And sometimes people feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. They just don't want people to know what they're going through, because it's like, well, if I tell them, there's nothing they're going to do about it anyway, nothing they can do about it. So they'd rather just deal with the problems on their own. And I used to be that way at one point. Still am kind of. I kind of keep to myself with things that I go through, but I have a way to deal with them. But, with all being said, just check on your peoples. If you don't check on them every day, check on them from time to time. Make sure everybody's good, especially guys,
Yeah.
especially men. We tend to we carry burdens, and we carry a lot of things that we don't talk to our spouse about, our family. We deal with it. That's how it is. We just deal with it. And I know it's sad,
That is.
but it's like we don't want people to throw things in our face once we come to you about what we're going through, because like, either gonna throw it in our face, or you're gonna tell other people our business that we trust you with. So, but yeah, reach out to your peoples, reach out to your uncles, brothers, dad, cousins, reach out to the guys. Ladies, we know that you guys go through things too.
Indeed.
Huh?
I said indeed, but I
Yeah,
think for the ladies, we have more outlets than I feel like men do.
right.
We have, we can be
I
transparent
think
with our girlfriends
women,
and
yeah, about to
our
say that women bond closer
yeah.
together than guys with other guys. So
Right. But
definitely,
society has placed that stigma upon men to say, okay, you need to be strong,
mhm,
man up. You can't show, any emotions. You can't cry. You can't
right,
hug another man. You can't embrace whatever without there being some negative stigma attached to it. But
right,
yeah, we as women, we tend to have more outlets. We have women empowerment movements. We have
mhm,
conferences. We have self-help books, things like that. We tend to go into those areas where we can get the help that we need,
right,
if that's what we choose to do.
mhm,
Yeah, but men, not so much. We just live in a society where you guys are told to just deal with it, and that's not good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been there before. Just I didn't realize until last year that I was depressed. I never told anybody. I never even told you that, but
Told me.
I did tell you.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh, we talked about it the other day, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so I did tell you the other day, but I didn't tell you prior to that. But
I did, yeah, before while you were.
yeah, so it's like no one would have ever thought that I was depressed because the way I was moving. And that right there is like the same thing. It's like because of the reason why I was depressed, I feel like no one really would understand. So that's why I didn't go to anybody to tell them why I was depressed. I kind of just was in my own little world, and I figured, you know what, I'll get over it. But this is something I probably would never get over. So I'm learning to just go about my day and stand stronger in prayer with God, and not question the situation, because I know it was him that made that decision, and it was probably the best decision. It was the best decision, I would say. So, like I said, just you guys just check on your peoples, and I know I need to do better with that too, with checking on my brothers and cousins and uncles and stuff like that too, to make sure that they're good as well. But
Let me interject. I would say, when you're going through things, as you stated, you may not necessarily want people in your business,
right,
but we also have to be cognizant of the fact that people outside of us are not really mind readers. So it's very important to find someone that you can trust, to be vocal about what it is that you're going through, because we all have lives. We all have things that's important, and that may take precedence in our lives. And we don't ever want to dismiss or neglect someone that may be going through some things because of things that we may be distracted with. So I think it's very important for us to find someone, as you mentioned, that we can feel comfortable talking to, because if you don't talk about it, you really can't get the help that you need. So it is very important to find someone that you can trust. And, that's what I would say, because, we can't assume that people will know what's going on in our lives unless we express it ourselves. So that's what I would say.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even wanting somebody that you can talk to and trust is just, it takes like, that reassurance that you can trust them. Like you second question or second guess, is this the right person to go to? Sometimes, the people you can talk to, and it's people that, that's going to spread your business, or the people that's going to just not really, you know what I'm saying? It's like, they'll say they'll be there for you, but at the same time, some things you just gotta deal with on your own. But in the headspace that allows you to think positive and clearly. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that headspace can be a negative headspace that overrides or that's more powerful than the positive sometimes. Because even my headspace sometimes with the thing that I was depressed with, it was the negative that brought the depression side of it, because I was thinking negative. But then when I realized each time that I go through this, it's like the positive is there now. So I'm realizing that I should not, like I said, let the negative override or overpower the positive side of the situation. So I'm learning, like I said, I'm learning, because I've always been I've
The
always,
process.
yeah, it's a process. I've always
Mhm.
been a to myself kind of person about things that I go
Mhm.
through. So I'm learning how to cope with things, and I'm learning to talk to the people that I can trust about the things I'm going through. So then
And
I
I'm
got
glad you
you
shared
because
it with me.
you're my best friend. We've been friends for a while now, So
Mhm.
you and I talk about things too. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, how are you doing today?
I am well.
That's good.
I'm well, but I will say this. Even though I'm a woman, I I've had my moments like yourself where I felt very heavy. It's just I don't know. You can call it depression, call it what you want. And me being the type of person I am, I don't like for people to see me in a certain light. And that's, seeing me not smiling, not laughing, not joking around and playing around, or even crying.
Right.
Because I think a part of me is like, okay, I don't want to feel like I am a burden in someone else's life because I can gauge from my interaction with them how busy their lives are. So, just out of respect and out of consideration for whatever it is that they're going through, I don't
Hmm.
want to necessarily add more onto their plate. So, I'll keep things bottled up or I'll keep things to myself and I'll just kind of go in, lick my wounds, and then I'm out and I'm like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? To
Hmm.
where they would have no clue that I was breaking down. I was like just feeling like this.
Right.
And but that's just like I said, that's just out of me um just being courteous, I guess you could say, of their time and whatever it is that they may have been going through themselves. And
Hmm.
just me not wanting to add more to their plate.
Right.
Because I know how it feels to have someone pull on you and that sort of thing. But I think for me, I actually like it when people come to me. Um, and I
I do
say that
too.
because
I do
yeah, I
too.
do. And I guess I say that because um it kind of makes me feel good that they can trust me.
Needed. Yeah. Feel needed
Mhm.
and.
Right. And then that I can impart some words of encouragement or
Hmm.
words of wisdom and a level of positivity into them. And then when I'm doing that, it makes me feel better because they may never know. I may be going through a rough time at the time that they're coming to me, but
Right.
as I'm speaking into them, it actually uplifts me.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I kind of like it when people, come to me and about their issues and things like that because I always want to feel like I am a vessel of help,
Right.
you know.
Hmm.
And so that's just me. But I'm doing better with choosing the right people through my level of discernment now. And maybe I had to take some time off to myself to understand the importance of discernment
Hmm.
and choosing the right people to come to and say, okay, this is something I'm dealing with. Can you help me? That sort of thing. And I may not necessarily even have to say it that way. I
Right.
may just start talking and the person that I know really cares about me through just demonstrating over time a level of compassion and
Hmm.
care and concern. And then just feeling in my gut, okay, this person is trustworthy. I can
Right.
talk to them. And so, yeah. So just over time, so like I said too, it's the process, you just have to kind of weed out people. It's just like a sifting, if you
Hmm.
will.
Hmm.
And then you kind of you're left with the right people in your circle, even though it may be small. It doesn't matter as long as you have, even if it's just one person.
Hmm.
It could be a family member, it could be a friend, It could be your pastor. It could be a spiritual healer. Adam. It could be anyone.
Right.
But as long as you have someone, even if you have to call a number and speak with an anonymous person, as long as you're speaking to someone.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is true. This is true. You got to have an outlet.
Very important.
Yeah. And I know some people don't have outlets.
Right.
So what?
But they're there. They're there
They're
though.
there. Yeah, they're there, but the relationship haven't been established like they
Right.
would want it to be.
Right.
Because I mean,
But you know
like
what?
we all
I would say
know
this.
people. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I would say this. I find it sometimes easier to talk to an anonymous person than, someone that I've known for years. Just maybe depending on what it is. Because I mean, like I said, it's basically a choice.
So when you're saying anonymous, like
Meaning
what
I can pick up the phone and call the 800 number,
do-
you know, and speak with someone about whatever I'm going through. Sometimes workplaces, they have numbers where you can call and speak with a therapist or something like that. But like I said, you don't necessarily have to sit across to them face to face and speak to them. Sometimes people want to remain anonymous. They don't want to be seen, but there are outlets. Sometimes it's just meaning that you just have to choose to pick up the phone and call.
Because see, my thing is when you say anonymous, I know we have the 800 numbers or whatever, but some people, they're like introverts, right? Introverts are like just to themselves and they don't really talk to anybody. Most of the times it's people that are like that that feel like they don't have nobody to go to because they don't communicate with people.
That's true.
So,
But those
for
are the
them-
ones who typically, but you're right. But those are the ones who typically will call a number and speak with someone they don't necessarily know.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
All right. I feel you. I feel where
You
you're
know.
coming from.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've not really been on social media since the latter of last year as much, but for whatever reason, whenever I would log in, it was two men who posted something about suicide. And I was just like, okay, what is going on? We already had the information presented to us about Twitch,
Rest in peace.
right? And but I don't know. I'm just like, is there a spirit of this, going around? Because it's like, okay, it seems like people are really on what I guess they deem as their last leg. And but then it's like, okay, we have people that are, coming at them like, okay, this is the information here, this is what you can do here, this is what you're gonna. But again, it's a choice of that individual as to whether or not they want to reach out. Even if it's, hey, let me give you my phone number, call me. Again, they can choose not to call or they can choose to call or whatever. But I'm just saying, it's a lot going on.
It's a
As
lot.
you mentioned, it's a lot going on. And I feel it. I
It's a
felt that shift in the
spiritual-
atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a spiritual demon that's floating around. More so now than ever. Because there's a lot of weird things happening. Like, you didn't see, like, some years back, there were some suicides going on. But it's more so now. And I sit sometime and I think, like, what are they really going through? Like, what is people really going through that they want to off themselves? Like, what's so bad? Like, what makes life so bad that you just want to go to the other side? Like, these people have kids behind, they have wives, husbands, family members in general. But do you think about them before you make that decision to exit? See, that would be my thing. Like, I would think about my son. Because I know if I'm not here as he gets older and things that he may have to go through in life, then he's going to, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be in the world by himself. Yeah, he'll have his mom, but you need your dad, you know, you need your mom and your dad. But the same, I'm talking about from the guy's point of view. Like, the guys are taking their life more than the females. So that's my thing. Is like,
which points us back to what we were saying just a few minutes ago. Men tend to not really have that much of an outlet as women do.
right.
So it's very heavy for men. I mean, I can't say I understand completely the plight of the male, but I try. Let's put it that way. I try. So, and that just means, you know, just having a listening ear, you know, being a sounding board, and that sort of thing. And we talked about this before in one of our other podcasts, in other sessions, about men talking and that sort of thing, and how important it is for men to express their feelings and their emotions because of the way society has kind of like browbeat
Right.
you know, the man into thinking that they cannot express themselves. And of course, over time, when you just continue to hold in all of these emotions, this hurt, this pain, these feelings of abuse, rejection, whatever, you know, it makes it worse. You know, at some point, you're going to boil over.
Right.
How it manifests, we don't know. You know, you can snap on someone, you can just decide to do
And that's what
something, you know,
that's
more
what
tragic.
happens. That's what happens. You're gonna take it out on other people,
Right.
whether it's verbally or you might take it out on that what they call the spirit, meaning the alcohol. Start
Right.
drinking heavily, start smoking, turn to drugs.
By the way, this is water. I'm just saying, it's
Yeah.
water.
This
It
is
might be in
water.
a wine glass. It might be
It's
in
the
a wine
bottle of
glass,
the
but this is water.
It's poured out of right here, so showing y'all it's water.
I didn't ask you to prove yourself. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too. There's a water, but yeah, that's something. That's like a topic that we need to go deeper on. We'll do that at another time too, because I think the next one we do, we'll have some people calling in, or we'll have other guests come in and talk about it as well, because I think a lot of people go through depression.
Yeah, I've been
And
through it.
sometimes you just never know sometimes that you're going through a depression. Like I said, I didn't know.
I knew it. I knew it. I just
when
couldn't
you
get
s-
myself out of it.
yeah,
That's
when you
all. I just
when you felt yourself going through it, right? What were the signs for you that you were depressed?
I just didn't feel like myself. I was always, at one particular time, I guess you could say, a social butterfly. You know, I didn't stay with, you know, a person for too long. I don't mean in terms of relationship. I'm just talking about, like, you know, I just like, hey girl, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hug, you know, and then go on to someone else. Hey, how you doing? You all right?
Right.
You good? How's your, you know, and then just, but I don't know. I guess it was just one of those things where I just didn't want to be bothered. And, you know, I just kind of wanted to retreat and go off to myself and just not deal with anything that I didn't necessarily have to deal with. You know, of course, if it was my family, oh yeah, they were priority regardless. But when it came to anyone outside of those who were important to me, nah. And it was just, I was always tired. Was always kind of laying around and didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to do anything. I don't know, but for whatever reason, and I don't know if it was because of my line of work, I still received an enormous amount of joy, if you will, to be able to help other people.
Right.
I don't know if it was just that sense of me knowing, okay, like, okay, I'm there. I know what you're going through. I know how you feel. And it was almost like without telling them, okay, we're going to get through this together. That's why I
Right.
said it was one of those things where the fact that they didn't know I was dealing with it, it was like as I was imparting, these words of encouragement into them, it built me up, it inspired me, and then it just gave me a sense of worthiness, if you will, to know that as they walked away from me, they felt better. And so, but yeah, it was a lot of different signs. I'm not a comfort eater, so of course when I was going through, I didn't want to eat, and I can eat.
Yep. I know.
Yeah.
But you don't eat
But anyway,
meat.
so
You eat vegetables and stuff like that. But yeah, you can eat.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said you don't eat meat.
Right.
You eat vegetables. But I know you love your vegetables, a lot of it.
I can tell some crab legs though, but it's not every day. But I just have a little, maybe a little piece of salmon or something. But anyway, so long story short, like I said, it was just one of those situations where, I just didn't feel like myself.
Right.
So it's like, okay, wait a minute, this is not me. And when you notice a shift, then you're like, okay, what's going on? And, I knew what was going on. I knew what was going on to take me to that level of depression. And one thing is like, there are different levels of depression too. I mean, you could be right here and then you can just spiral down a little bit, and then you can continue to spiral down a little bit further. But it's like, it's really up to that individual as to how far they go. It really is. And and the reason why I say that is because a person outside of you can notice that you're going through, and they can tell you this, that, and the third. They can show you the way to peace and serenity and all of that. They can give you all kinds of resources for you to, but again, it's a personal choice.
Right.
Unless there is some type of chemical imbalance or something like that. But even still, you may have to go and get evaluated to receive some type of treatment in terms of medication or whatever. But again, that still comes from acknowledgement, right? Because any type of change will only happen when acknowledgement is in place.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
So I acknowledged it. I was like, okay, something ain't right. And so that's when I didn't get medicated or anything like that, but it was just more or less like, you know what, I had to take steps. Even if it was baby steps, I had to take steps necessary for me to get out of that.
Right.
So, because I didn't like myself where I was, because I saw, like I said, the difference from where I used to be more outgoing and stuff like that. Because I was the extrovert, and then I turned into becoming an introvert. So now I would say there's a little bit of a balance. I call myself an ambivert. So I have some extroverted tendencies as well as introverted tendencies,
Right.
I don't know. It just all depends on what side of the bed I get up on.
I feel you.
All
I
right.
definitely feel you on that. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I guess we all go through it. You know what I'm saying? We all go through it from time to time. That's life.
It is.
It's
Again,
life.
it's a process.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's journey is the same.
And
Not
it never
everyone's
will be the same. It's just
right.
it's
Mhm.
how you handle
Mhm.
the journey. Like you can go on a journey knowing it's going to be some interference, some ups and downs, some
Mhm.
obstacles. Knowing that you're gonna know that those things are gonna happen, but some people can't handle it because everything you're not gonna be prepared for. That's what I had to learn in life. You're not gonna be prepared for everything. And some of the things that we go through is scary. And when I say scary, meaning that it shocks us when it happens to the point that we don't even, well, we didn't see it coming for one. And secondly, we didn't even know we're going through it.
Some of the things that we go through actually prepare you for something else.
But sometimes you don't think about that. Like
No, you don't. You
when you're
don't.
in
Not
that
at the time.
zone, you're
Right.
not thinking, I'm going through this because this is about to happen later
Right.
on.
Right.
Your focus is, why me?
Mm.
Why am I going through this? What did I do? Am I being punished for something that I did prior to this situation or back then? But that's what I learned, is understanding that. Because see, sometimes the way people treat you sometimes you don't have to retaliate back in that negative energy, because sometimes, as we all say, God sends, not God, but the devil sends his people to God's people. And God puts you in position to see how strong you're going to be. Whether you're going to do it his way, meaning interact with it in a positive, godly way and go about your business, or are you going to let it affect you and bring you down to the level of being on their level, fighting negative with negative? Because see, the energy people put off or put out there seems like it's going to be positive, but sometimes people make you feel like the energy is positive, but they have a negative
Gender.
backfire behind it.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful
Who
of
you
people,
entertain.
right? Of people you have in your presence, because not
Mhm.
everybody's going to be for you.
Right.
And then it's going to flip around, and those people are going to either do something to you that's going to cause you to be like, you know what, I thought you had my back. I thought we were cool. I thought you were my friend. I thought you was my brother. I thought you was my sister. But all the time, they had other plans.
Oh, absolutely.
So you gotta just remember that you're gonna have all kind of peoples coming at you, asking you to do favors, asking you to look out for them, or just communicating, just talking to them. You gotta recognize when people have hidden agendas.
And stop. I hear this often. Well, I match energies. Stop it. Stop it. Unless it's a
Again,
positive energy,
yeah,
match that. But
match
when
the
it's
positive,
negative
not the
energy,
negative. Yeah,
exactly. Stop it. Stop going down low.
because if
And yeah.
somebody do wrong to you,
Hmm.
doesn't mean you gotta do wrong back to them. You have the
Absolutely.
option to
Hmm.
exit this way if you don't
Right.
like something somebody's saying. And like
To
they
the
say,
left,
when
to the
somebody
left.
slap you on that side, you have to slap back, not physically.
Hmm.
But if somebody slap you, meaning say something you don't like or did something to you, you don't have to retaliate and go back and do the same thing, because now you're just as bad as they are. And I don't like doing it. That's one thing about me is I know how to cut people off.
Mm,
I know how
mm.
to feed negative energy. I feed negative energy with being the observant. Like, you'll know I'm watching you, and you know I'm listening to you. But when you see that L does not have any more contact with you, and you're gonna start wondering or guessing why. And that's because something you said that I didn't agree with, that I didn't like. So I know how to make my exit and know how to put you on this side of the camp while I'm on this side of the camp, because now there's a line in between, and that's saying that I know not to cross to come to you, and I know that you're not going to cross to come to me, because I'm not going to allow you over my line. You can come over that line, but guess what? You're not going to see me.
Right. It's called boundaries.
You're not going to see me.
Right. It's called
So,
boundaries. But you know what? Some of those situations that we endure, it teaches us how important it is to set boundaries.
mhm,
And I guess we could talk about that, some other time. But yeah, definitely. And when I tell you it's a learning lesson, it
mhm.
definitely is. It's a learning lesson. But once you've learned that lesson, and you're like, okay, oftentimes you start seeing the blessings flow.
And it's not easy. It's going to take
It's
time
not.
to learn. It's going to take
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah, it does.
But
It
when
does.
you get it down packed
Mm-hmm.
and you start to put things in the position where it needs to be in
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be happy every day after that, because you're not going to let nobody dim your light anymore.
Right. And you have to also understand what it is that you know deep down in your soul
hmm
that you deserve. If you know that you are a good person, and you've demonstrated that consistently,
Right.
but yet you're faced with all of this negativity and things of that nature. I mean, yes, you can be compassionate because you can say, well, you know what? I understand why you are the way you are, but the way you are is not good for me and my spirit.
Right.
So yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to have to take this exit to the left, to the left. Yes, I'm out. Because again,
And don't go
a lot
back.
of times,
Don't when people
oh, you're talking about
try
spinning the
to,
block.
yeah, people always want to go back because
Oh
they
yeah,
either get bored or they're like, you know what, I miss this person.
it's
Once
familiar
you show me your
territory.
true colors,
Hmm.
I'm done. Like, I don't
Right,
care about all the good times we had back then. I don't care about that. The only
right.
thing I focus on is the ending part of that relationship, how it went down.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Because
me,
like you said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
out,
you
but like you
good, you
said, it's
good.
all about those who come at you with an agenda.
Right.
Like because I always talk about, you remember, I always talk to you about intentions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a
Mm-hmm.
person can do something good for you. They can say something nice to you,
Right.
but what was the intention behind what they did and what they said is really what you need to focus on.
My
Okay?
thing is this: when a person opens their mouth, it don't matter when,
Mm-hmm.
any type of communication, if it's a positive situation or they're talking positive or negative, even when they talk positive, there's a catch. It's either they want to see good or they want to make you think they mean well when they don't.
Right.
But it's up to you
To discern which.
to find. You're right. So you have to be you have to have an understanding that don't let everything that people say nice to you lower your trust, because sometimes people tell you what you want to hear, because they think that will build that trust faster towards them and bring you closer to them. And sometimes they get you where they want you to be, only to have something set aside that they can get you with later on, because now you're feeling so comfortable and telling them every single detail of the things you're going through. Like I said earlier, when we're talking about having someone to talk to, like, you gotta have some trustworthy people to talk to, because not everybody you talk to, and like I said, I've been down this road before, so I can tell you, not everybody you talk to that you were close to is
That's
always
your
going to
best
be,
interest.
no, I'm
Mhm.
saying they're not always going to be close to you.
Right, right. Mhm.
So you got to be very careful of some of the information that you're sending,
Right.
because you got to understand, yeah, this is my best friend, this is whoever, but that don't mean you're going to be that person forever for me.
Right.
So it's got to be a person that you've had long relationship with, whether it's a family member, whoever, that you can trust to tell whatever, and you know they're going to take it to the grave with them. Because see, that's what, like I said, when it comes to the people that's doing, or that's getting hurt, that's going through things, that's committing suicide, certain people, they don't have anyone to go to because of those reasons. Because if I tell you that I'm going through something, you're talking to me, you're giving me good insights, you're trying to make sure that I stay positive. So you don't really know what I'm going through, but you're feeding me the information that you should feed me as my friend. But in my mind, it's a spiritual demon that people go through when they're thinking about committing suicide. It's a demon in you. It's not you that's wanting to commit suicide. It's a thing in you that's telling you to off yourself. It's something that got inside of you. Because as we talked about on another episode, we talk about soul ties. We talk about people that we let close to us. See, people can put that negative witchcraft or whatever you want to call it. They can put those type of energies in you, and you don't even know it. Like, they could be next to you and just say whatever, but at the same time, they're stirring up something in the background. Like we talk about Twitch, rest in peace. We see this guy as a happy person, a dancer. Him and his wife, kids, TikTok, Instagram. But you never know what he was going through in the background. You don't know who he was around. See, we see everything on the forefront of social media, of how everybody puts on this happy face and happy journey with life or things that they're doing in life, but we don't know what he was experiencing solo. And I'm sure his wife didn't know either. His wife didn't know he was going to go to the hotel and do what he did. Because if she did, she would have stopped him. But something told him, I need to be by myself. And I've never thought about committing suicide before, though I've been in a situation to where I was deeply depressed. Like I said, I say it now because I never knew what depression was, but I know now, thinking about years back when I was going, I feel like no one loved me at one point.
You're so lovable.
Well, thank you. But it's just some things that I was going through that made me bitter. My own fault, something that I could have prevented. And then, based off of the energy I had, being mad at me made me feel like nobody else cared. And that was, like I said, that was something that I was dealing with. And it wasn't like that. It wasn't that no one cared. It just was that thing that I was going through that I let control my mind. So I say that to say that with rest in peace Twitch, when a person decides to go by themselves in a location, a secret location, and at the final moment when you're making that decision to say, hey, you know what? I have nothing else to live for. I have nobody else to live for. Because that's the thing what people say is like they feel like they have nobody. So if you felt you have somebody to talk to or be around that would cause you to rethink that process, you would. But clearly he didn't in his mind, because it was something controlling his mind. So again, like I said, when you get to that point to where you feel like you can't handle it or take it anymore, I kind of wish that matter of fact, I'm gonna do this real quick. Take the mic from me real quick while I search this up. And give me your feedback on what I just said. But I'm gonna try to find this number real quick. You there?
Do you hear something in the background? 'Cause it's my fan.
Probably that's what it is. It's okay. Um, all right, so if you have any problems, if you're going through anything out there, if you're depressed, we have an 800 number that you can call. It's not our number, but it's a number out there. It's 1-800 273 8255. 1-800 273 8255. Call that number. That's a suicide number. You can talk to somebody. That way you can have someone to talk to that's gonna help you clear your mind, your thoughts, because everything doesn't have to go the way that it's going for you. If you don't have any close friends or family members, call that number. And we want to thank y'all for tuning in, and just make sure, check on your peoples, check on your family, check on your friends, and make sure everybody good. So, any words you want to say before we make our exit out of the podcast?
No, not really. I mean, just like you said, just to kind of reiterate, just, find some people that you can trust. If you don't have any close family or friends, people that are trustworthy. And I will say this, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you've known for a very long time. Because truth be told, some of the people that we've known for years, have proven not to be very trustworthy.
Right.
So this is why I say you have to use keen discernment when it comes to being able to go to someone in particular and telling them about, things that you may be going through and that sort of thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you've known for a long period of time. It could be someone that you've known for a few months because
Right.
they have deemed themselves more trustworthy and more, reliable than, people that you've known for years. So this is why I say it is very, very, very important that you listen to your intuition or just discernment, same thing. And go from there. But don't just, close the door on people because a lot of times we tell ourselves too that no one understands, no one cares. This is what we tell ourselves because this is how we feel. We've gotten to that place of just not caring. And so we just assume that other people outside of us don't care. And that's not always the case. I guarantee sometimes when you just open your mouth and you speak with someone, they will show a level of empathy or maybe even sympathize for what it is that you're going through. And you'll be also surprised the fact that sometimes when you open your mouth and you talk about things that you've gone through, you'll be surprised at the fact that they have gone through it themselves.
That's true. Yep.
And they can give you some insight about how to get over it. So, but you won't know unless you open your mouth. So it's very important to just really practice being more transparent, but finding the right people and using discernment in doing so. So that's my word.
That's a good word. That's a good word. And I totally agree, 100%. God will never leave you by yourself. Remember, God is everywhere you go. And when you feel like giving up or breaking down, drop on your knees, say a prayer, and make the request for Him to give you strength, for Him to cover you in His blood, and He'll make it all right. Thank y'all for tuning in to this Where's That podcast. I'm LFA.
Jelly baby.
And we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.
I'm out.